We are together. This is Maria João Pires, the world-renowned concert pianist, and I'm standing in for Ian Skelly, who was originally planned to do the interview, but he's been called away by the BBC. So the first question which I'd like to ask you, Maria, is how you came across Krishnamurti.
I started quite a long time ago, in the 60s. I
Mm.
got the first book from a friend, and it was kind of this first impression was kind of a shock, you know.
Yes.
It was really something totally new for me.
Yes.
I had a grandfather who was replaced a bit my father, because my father died very, very soon, and he was reading all kinds of Buddhist philosophy and many different different writers and different philosophers, different, how you say, kinds of
Approaches to life. Is that? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. Yes.
Was he?
What do you mean?
Was he interested in meditation? Your grandfather?
He was meditating every day,
Yeah.
and he was completely. And he had many books. And as a child, as a girl, a young girl, I was sometimes reading parts of his books, and I started to be very interested in meditation very soon, when I was still very young.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And did he sit in silence, your grandfather?
Oh yes,
Oh, right,
absolutely.
yes,
Until he died, he was a
Mm.
very special man, and had a very big influence on all of us, and was really, really special. And so I grew up with that somehow, but I had never read Krishnamurti, and the first book was for me a very special opening to something that is completely independent from any religion, from any belief, but it is such the core of the philosophy and so I was always, and then after that I read as much as I could, as much as I could find.
Yes.
You know. At that time I couldn't speak any English, and so it was more difficult to find this kind of books. I was in Germany, so in German, and the most people didn't know him, but I had some friends who knew.
Right, I'm with you, and then got the books. What I was going to say, I was listening to some Bach that you were playing, Partita No. 1, and also a keyboard concerto with Riccardo Chailly more recently. And it seemed to have this quality of silence and order and space in the music. Do you think that comes from your background in silent meditation?
Could be, but I think since even before, when I was a child, I was always looking for the sound in the silence. So this was for me a kind of miracle, you know. I was sometimes waiting in my house. It's a funny thing. I was at the piano waiting for the moment where the vacuum cleaner would stop. Because at this time the vacuum cleaners would make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And I would wait a long time for that moment of silence, and then create the sound inside the silence. So this was for me kind of a very big need. I needed to feel the sound in the silence.
Right, I understand. Yes, I'm with you.
And then I started to learn very soon about these things. I think it was independent from all the influence I had from my grandfather. I think it was something very, I was searching for that.
Yes, I'm with you. And so for music, you came out of the silence, then rather than you were looking for the silence in the music, is it that way?
No. For me, it's the silence.
Yes.
Who
yes.
is the base
Right,
of
I
everything.
understand. Yes, I'm with you. Yes. So this is why you like Krishnamurti.
Yes.
I can see. Yes.
And then the sound comes in and takes his own space.
Yes, absolutely.
And is full of spaces
Yes.
everywhere. So
yes.
there are the silences who belong to create the space.
Yes, yes.
And music without space is no music.
Yes,
So
yes, exactly what Krishnamurti said. It's the spaces between the notes create music.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
One question I was very keen to ask you is, you know that we found you because of Claudio Abbado. You know that years ago I went to a concert of his. I was 15 years old, and there was such electricity in the concert hall when he did Oedipus Rex.
Yeah.
And then later on, much later, maybe 2 years ago, I saw this documentary with you talking about Claudio Abbado, about some fermatas in a Mozart concerto.
Yes.
And I could see the affection you had for Abbado when you were talking about him.
I had a very big affection for him and respect.
Yes,
And
yes.
I learned a lot from him. So I was very lucky to have the opportunity to play so many times with him.
Do you think he ever heard of Krishnamurti? I know you.
I don't know.
No.
It's funny, but we talked about many things because we saw each other many times after concerts or before concerts, and I don't remember talking about Krishnamurti with him. But I know Abbado was very sensitive to the fact, and this is already the same, we're talking about the same matter. We were very concerned about the listening, the capacity of listening.
Absolutely.
And the capacity of listening comes from silence.
Yes.
It comes from space, comes from all this relationship you have to silence or not, because it comes also from human beings can have the tendency to have fear from silence, to be afraid,
Yes,
to be afraid of
yes.
the empty space itself.
Yes, absolutely. What I was thinking, of course, Claudio Abbado was very keen on listening, wasn't he?
Exactly, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So he would be, for sure.
Yes. Do you think that is the connection between Krishnamurti's philosophy and music, the capacity to listen, that the capacity to listen somehow changes the music? And music is a metaphor for life, so that when you pay attention in life, then the life is also changed, just like the music is changed in the listening. Is that the connection for you?
Of course. But I think music starts with capacity of listening.
Yes.
It starts with the capacity you have to understand silence. But this would normally be born with us.
Yes.
Because we are part of the nature, and that's the nature, no?
So why have we lost that then? Because it's, for most people, to sit in silence would be a torture, wouldn't it?
Yes.
But in fact, it's full of beauty, isn't it? So why has mankind gone in such a funny direction?
He created a world, probably. Mankind created a world that wants to be detached from the deep nature, from our deep nature, which is belonging to everything.
Right, yes, I understand.
Created an independency, something that is detached him from the nature. So I have a feeling that many times people have this wanting this power of replacing nature.
Right, I understand, yes, I understand that. But what you mentioned about nature would include the cosmos, obviously.
Yes,
and
I included everything.
Yes. And I wondered what you thought of Bach, the position of Bach in music, because there seems this order in Bach, which is somehow reflecting the order of life. Do you find that, or is that?
It's very interesting that you asked me that, because this morning I was thinking about Bach and Beethoven, and I was saying to myself, why both go to the same, somehow the same place, but the expression is so different.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
And I was thinking with myself, what is the difference? And you have a feeling that Bach is a mathematician,
yes,
is a scientist that understands the cosmos and knows all the rules. So for him it's very natural.
Yes.
And this comes out like a fountain.
Yes.
Like a source.
Yes.
On the other hand, the Beethoven life, even it was not very long, but those years, you feel the fight for that.
Yes, yes.
The discipline he creates every day with himself, with his belief and with his, but he fights all the time for it.
That's right.
And the music expresses that, and it's very beautiful because it doesn't flow the same way. It's different.
Yes, absolutely.
It has a certain effort.
Yes, I find it very human because he's got all the conflict as a human being, but he touches the eternity occasionally.
Yes, completely.
Yes,
completely all the time.
Yes, yes.
But with this, I wouldn't say fight, with this enormous effort.
Yes, that's right, absolutely.
Which makes him...
Yes, that's right. Absolutely, I'm 100% with you. And with Bach, I mean, what you put it is just the order of nature, the universe. But there's something very interesting because the mathematicians, the physics people, I don't understand mathematics, but the very advanced mathematicians say there's great beauty in mathematics.
Of
and
course.
it comes out in Bach, because Bach was a mathematician.
Beauty. Yes.
And some people say the science stream and the art stream are actually both the same stream, different aspects of the stream, that the beauty of mathematics
is the same.
Is the same as the beauty in a great work.
It's the order of the universe, and I think the relationship between sound and space, or if we want to can say sound and silence, is probably very belongs to an order of the universe. So it's something that has the breathing has to be there, and everything has to be exact in the right place. So in order to achieve that, it's not easy, I must say.
But I'm sure, because every human being can recognize the truth, and there's something in us which recognizes it. It's so clear in Bach, isn't it? You can't deny it.
Yeah. No, of course not. Of course, it's very clear. But it's simple. In Bach, it's very simple because it flows.
Yes. And this brings us on to the concert, because I found that a lot of people, particularly in the arts, have never heard of Krishnamurti because he died 30 years ago. And for me, that seems tragic because they're very sensitive people to the beauty of art and to music. And music takes us to this front door of the depth of the silence. And Krishnamurti was pointing out that this is somehow the inheritance of everybody, to come across this quality of silence at a very deep level. So it seemed so obvious to have a concert for Krishnamurti, to point out so that people can, if they want to read about Krishnamurti, if they don't, that's okay.
Of course, but sometimes, I'm asking myself why such a is more than a great philosopher, such a miracle, open mind personality could be unknown from people. I'm asking myself how it can be, but I think it's perhaps the access to it is a little bit difficult. It's not so easy if you are used to the modern world.
Because the programming of modern life against it, isn't it?
Yes, because I tried sometimes to give books from Krishnamurti to other people, to some friends and people who would who would really urgently need that information and that reality. But they have difficulty to enter that space. I think perhaps people would need some preparation for it.
I understand that.
So I would say that you should, it's like some composers, you have to know them first. And in order to know them, you need some explanation.
That's true.
So I think Krishnamurti would need
Yes.
Not only the reading, but also some help to explain
Yes. Yes, what it's
to
about.
people what's about
Yes,
and how
yes.
you get to it.
Yes, yes, I understand that. But what I thought, because you were talking about music as a metaphor for life, you know, that you said, I think, in one of your quotations that learning about music is learning about life.
Yes,
Yes.
I mean, you have so many ways
Yes.
to learn about life.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So I think there are many, many ways,
Yes.
and music is one of them.
Yes,
If you approach it also in the right way,
yes,
if you have a spiritual approach of music, non-commercial,
yes,
non-material in the sense of
yes, yes. It's a very good word you use there, material, because Krishnamurti makes it clear that meditation is neither conscious nor unconscious.
No.
It's something beyond.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
What I was going to mention, the concert is in the Cadogan Hall on the 3rd of September next year. And the person who was going to interview today but had to go on to the BBC is Ian Skelly, and he works with Prince Charles. And Prince Charles is the patron of Temenos, which John Taverner was a member of.
I see.
And Ian Skelly is the chairman of Temenos, and Prince Charles is the patron. And I wonder, because you've done some work with Prince Charles, haven't you? I think.
Yes, I played many times for, really many times and many years, since
Yes.
many years, for music in country churches.
Oh, right,
And his
yes.
patron. So he
Yes.
attended the concerts many times.
Yes, yes.
I had also the chance to meet him and
Yes.
talk to him sometimes.
Yes. To me, I think it's remarkable that Britain has a man like that in such a prominent position. There's a lot of the things that he's been pointing out, the society has been catching up, like organic food, organic farming.
Yes, I had the chance also to visit his organic farm.
Oh, yes, yes.
And he showed it to me, and it
Yes.
was really very, very nice.
Yes,
Of course, I'm very concerned about these matters, as you imagine.
yes, yes, yes. And so we thought, because of Ian Skelly, because he's involved in BBC on the music programme, and because of his connection with Temenos, which is interested in philosophies in general, he would be the right person to interview our concert and to present our concert on the 3rd of September next year. Yes. And as one very last question, Ian Skelly wanted to ask you whether you regard your playing as a meditation, or how you regard when you play.
You wanted to ask me?
Yes. He first of all, he was very sad that he couldn't come because he wanted to meet you. And secondly, he sent me an email and said he wanted to ask you, if he was here, do you regard your playing as a meditation? Or how do you regard it when you play?
Very much, yes. I can say that, yes, I could say that. At least, I don't know if I can say this is a kind of meditation. It is probably a kind, but the approach is the same.
Right, yes. Yeah.
So the approach is to be aware of what happens and to have the capacity of listening to the music and not be so much involved in the action process.
Right, yes.
So the action process is something you have to develop because you have to develop the best you can your technique.
Yes, yes, I understand. A physical technique. To play the
Technique,
notes,
not in the sense of the mechanical, but of the knowledge of your body.
Oh, right, yes.
The knowledge of your body and how you can use it to serve that moment. So it's something very, the piano technique for me represents something very how you say in English, impermanent? Not permanent.
Yes.
Something that
temporary,
is
it? Not temporary.
moving.
Yes, I understand.
It's constantly changing.
Yes, yeah.
It's constantly changing.
Yes.
So I don't like to have a technique that is fixed.
Yes.
That is that you remember it should be
Yes.
like that.
Right, I understand.
Because
yes.
the moment changes.
Yes.
And music is not impossible to have it as something permanent.
Static, yeah, I understand. Yes. Static. Yes, yes, I understand.
So developing that, I think the approach is the same as meditation, because on one hand you are just aware of what happens instead of wanting to do.
Right, I understand. Yes, yes, yeah. Yes.
So the approach also to a composer is wanting to listen instead of wanting to do.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I understand.
Now, if I have a conversation with you, I should listen to what you say, otherwise there's no conversation.
Yes, yes.
And then I can
respond.
Talk
Yes.
with.
Yes.
And then music is somehow the same. You have to be silent, listen, understand, and then you can collaborate and do.
Right, I understand.
You see?
Yes.
But this process is very nice, but
Yes.
it's very much the same approach.
Yes.
I
I
agree.
understand.
Yes.
Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.